Welcome back. A caucus night that's prompting calls for its demise, the impeachment acquittal as expected, and the State of the Union address that turned into a bit of a show. These are all things we'll talk about this morning with former Illinois Congressman Phil Hare, a Democrat, and Iowa Republican Party Chair Jeff Kaufman. Always great to see the two of you, I must say.
Good seeing you.
Great to be here.
Well, let's start with the State of the Union address. It was different, to say the least. President Trump snubbed a handshake with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi before the speech. Pelosi ripped up the speech right after he finished. Well, he referred to his first 3 years in office as the Great American Comeback and provided examples of economic successes. Critics on the left called it a game show, especially when he interrupted the address to give controversial radio show host Rush Limbaugh the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Fact checkers at the Washington Post took issue with some of the president's claims. One is the claim the economy is the best it's ever been. You can't doubt that it's good. However, the annual growth rate of GDP has not exceeded 3%. In the late 90s, it grew by at least 4.5% a year and more in the 1950s and 60s. Trump's claim of enacting record-setting tax cuts, not factual. Ronald Reagan's tax cut of 1981 remains the largest. The Trump tax cut comes in as the 8th largest over the last century. One more. The president claimed the progress in domestic oil and natural gas production now has the country energy independent. Incorrect there. The United States still imports plenty of oil from Canada and the Persian Gulf. There are more, but we'll stop there. President Trump made his grand statement that the State of the Union is stronger than ever. So I ask you, is it stronger than ever or more divided than ever? Jeff?
Well, I mean, we've got a great economy. There's no doubt about it. You check your 401k.
And it was good for the 8 years leading up to that. It improved strongly under the Obama administration. It's a continuation of that.
It's definitely at a peak, and we have, you know, in terms of taxes, we've eliminated the inheritance tax, which is huge in rural Iowa, as opposed to what people say that saved a lot of family farms.
But is the union stronger or more divided in terms of the way people feel?
Well, I mean, I think there's always there's divisiveness when the president was when President Obama was in.
Sure.
I was just teaching history this morning, and we were talking about the State of the Union right after the Civil War. The words that you hear today are child's play compared to what it used to be. No, I mean, we got partisan divides, we've got passions. I think in terms of the divide, I think we're about where we generally are.
Phil?
I think it was sad on two accounts. Before I get into what the president said was the not shaking the hand of the Speaker of the House. When I was when George Bush was the president, a Republican, there was a lot of, you know, we had disagreements, but that, I think. And then, to be candid, I thought Pelosi ripping up the speech was uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, both ways. I pointed out they both did.
But I think what it points to more, Jim, is the divide we have in this country. You know, you can talk about the economy all you want, but every time I go out and talk to people, they're either here or they're there, and there doesn't seem to be any middle ground. That concerns me a great deal. Some of the facts that the president, you know, passed out or was talking about, I understand. I'm not upset that he gave Limbaugh the award. I think there were more people deserving of it. But look, he's the president of the United States, whether we like it or not. And until we change that, if we do, I think we have to try to get back to some semblance of what can we do to work together.
All right, that makes sense. I just can tell you by my Facebook friends, I got Republicans and Democrats as friends, and the rancor is out there for sure. President Trump took a victory lap the day after his acquittal in the Senate impeachment trial. He showed no contrition, unlike Bill Clinton did after his trial. The president ripped into his political rivals, praised his allies, and once again maintained that his call to Ukraine's president was perfect. This despite his own lawyers maintaining it wasn't a good thing to do, while arguing it didn't rise to the level that warranted him being removed from office. So what's going to stop the president from doing something like this again, or perhaps something worse? Phil, what do you think?
Nothing, because he knows that he has, whatever the House does, whatever investigation, he will tell his folks not to come and testify. And you know, this whole impeachment thing, from my perspective, I would have voted to impeach because I believe he did violate the Constitution. That said, take a look at the vote. That's all you needed. When we go back again to this division, Mitt Romney was the only person that voted against one of it. And the next day, or that night, the president came out with vicious attacks on Mitt Romney. He's a good guy, you know. And again, I think it goes back to with this
having your disagreements and just not being able to understand the disagreements.
Right.
Jeff, I guess we already saw the Senate Republicans trying to launch an investigation to Hunter Biden too. So this sort of is along the whole political enemy thing.
Well, it is, and you know, and what's to stop a Republican Congress from going after a Democratic president for political reasons. I mean, there's been precedents set on both sides here. And in regards to Mitt Romney, I just find it interesting all of the accolades he's receiving. Wow, what a difference between 2012.
No, I don't. I think, but there was. I don't think people criticized Romney for being a bad person when he ran against President Obama. There certainly was disagreement on policies. Right?
Yeah, and I see. We don't know what's in Mitt Romney's heart. It could also. This may not be an attack of conscience. This also might be Mitt Romney, and
not
this might be soil
Donald Trump.
grapes for not being picked Secretary of State too.
Well, maybe, but let me just, on the other side, if you look at Senator Roy Moore from Alabama, deep red state, and came out and said he was going to vote, that is a profile and courage to me, because obviously he could have taken the easy way out. Everybody knew the numbers, but he talked about his dad, and he talked about what he stood for, and so whether it's Mitt Romney or this person, I'm just glad it's over. I'm hoping we can get back now to some type of working together to get something done.
Let's see. We're going to go over to one more thing before we go, because time is running short. The Iowa caucus fiasco. You know I can't not talk about that. State Democrats tried to use an app to tabulate the results faster. One problem, it didn't work, obviously. Clearly, I don't think it was tested properly. Jeff, we spoke a couple of times Monday night in Des Moines about this before this unraveled. Then I heard you later in interviews on television, our sister station, WHO-TV in Des Moines, defending the Democrats because there would be a paper trail here. This immediately, of course, escalated into the calls to take away Iowa's first in the nation status. How is it possible Iowa can maintain it? In some ways, people might argue it's already ceded it to New Hampshire this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, the president tweeted this morning, like him or not like him, he said as long as he's president of the United States, we will start with Iowa and New Hampshire. So on the Republican side of things, the president's reelected, it's not in question. I'm still not gonna pile on the Democrats here, Jim. We have
And I'm not asking you to, I'm just trying to.
And no, I know you're not.
I mean,
but
you can, feel free.
No, I'm not going to here because, accuracy does not necessarily have a deadline. And there is one thing that could have gone wrong that is far worse than taking these extra days, and that is if inaccurate results would have been tabulated. I understand the frustration. Many of the people that are calling for the end of our First of the Nation were people that were calling for the end of it before this debacle, and I think they're piling on the Democrats just simply because this actually occurred. I don't think missing a deadline is a reason to break up a tradition that brought us Barack Obama, that brought us Ted Cruz, that brought us Jimmy Carter, that brought us the Bushes. I really think we need to step back.
And you like two of those four people anyway.
Well, I actually, if we had to have a Democratic president, I'm glad Iowa was the one that broke the barrier, the ethnicity barrier for Barack Obama. So I'm going to hand it to the Iowa caucuses.
I got 10 seconds. I'm sorry. We've gone a little bit over.
The caucuses, to be candid, are crazy. It leaves out people that work second shift, leaves out single moms who are trying to have a sitter for their child, people in assisted living. And the problem is, it should be go in, vote, whoever gets the most votes is the winner. Plus, now they have this double thing where who gets the delegates and who gets the vote.
Well, it's complicated. Well, they tried to address it with the satellite caucuses, but we cannot get it all in here. I'm sorry, Jeff Kopp and Phil Hare. You never disappoint, though, I will say that. And what a year we have in store for us, for sure. That brings us to our question of the week. What do you think about Mitt Romney being the only senator from either party to break ranks and vote guilty in the president's impeachment trial? Send your answer by email to fortherecord@WHBF.com, or respond to this post on Facebook at the Local 4 News WHBF TV page or on my page.